Hi. Today I'm going to talk about a couple of books that I've been reading over the last kind of few weeks and what I intend to read over the next little while, and also some new books that I've come by over the last few weeks. It's not really a haul, it's just kind of books that I've bought at different points, or, you know. But I don't like the word haul. It kind of implies that I've gone out and this stuff, when really it's just picking up bits and pieces around the place. So firstly, what I've been reading, I'm almost finished Americana. I have, I think, about 20 pages left, and oh my god, I just don't want to read them because I don't want it to end. I've been kind of dragging it out for days. I read like the first kind of 400 and something pages on planes on Thursday and Friday, and I've got like 50 pages. I've just been kind of doing 10 pages at a time, and I can't bring myself to finish it, but I'll probably do that tonight. The other book that I have been reading is a bit weird. So I went to this bookshop called the Book Grocer, which is, there's a couple of them around Melbourne. They're probably in other states as well of Australia, and it's kind of a I don't know if this is right, but it always seems to me like one of those shops that has books that didn't sell, like that too many were published, or you kind of walk around and you're like, I don't understand how half these were published in the first place. So there's kind of a lot of crap there, and occasionally you find something good, or like a lot of hardcovers of things that kind of just, you know, the hardcover never sold, so they just end up in shops like this. But occasionally you get something cool, and I picked up this book called How Proust Can Change Your Life by Alan de Botton. And I've read a couple of his books before, and I'm not really the biggest fan. I find him kind of pretentious and a bit simplistic at the same time. But to be honest, I don't even know what made me pick this up. Because the guy in the shop was such an idiot. He kept trying to talk to me because I think he was bored. There was no one else in the shop, and I just wanted to get out of there. So I bought a couple of books. Anyway, and I started reading it the other day as I was waiting for my toast to pop. And it is actually really good. It's really short chapters, like kind of 5 pages or so, and they're all kind of about Proust, or about In Search of Time, or it might be other books that he's written as well. But it's really making me want to read Proust, which is something I've been meaning to do for years, but I'm too scared. I'm kind of terrified that it'll be too hard for me, or that I won't get it, or that I'll fail at reading it. So I've been too scared to start. But I think I'm almost ready, maybe. Maybe I'm grown up enough. The other book that I picked up at the Book Grocer, I kind of regret buying. It's called The Company of Wolves, and it's a non-fiction book. And I kind of bought it because the dog thing, I really like dogs and wolves, and I find this kind of thing really interesting, but I just don't know that I'm going to get around to reading it anytime soon. So I feel guilty for buying it. But look, maybe I'll just kind of read little bits at a time and see how it goes. I'm kind of interested in knowing about the reintroduction of wolves into Yellowstone National Park, and I believe there's this kind of push to to cull the wolves again, or to allow them to be culled because they're killing stock or something. I don't know. I saw a bit of a documentary the other day and thought, oh god, that's something I want to know more about, because, you know, wolves. Anyway, so those are the 2 books from the Book Grocer. And then on Thursday and Friday, my husband and I went to Brisbane because he is an artist, among other things, and had an exhibition starting. And while we were there, I found some bookshops. And in Melbourne, we kind of have this dearth of bookshops now, like so many shut over the last kind of 5-10 years, that all of the bookshops that I used to buy books from have just disappeared. A lot of small ones, independent ones, and used bookstores as well have closed down. And there's kind of really... There's really not that many anymore, which is really, really sad. There used to be, like, in every shopping centre there'd be at least one. Now there's not. Or there's one of those crappy ones, like, that just sell, well, I don't know, just things that didn't sell, basically, which I don't really consider a bookstore. I think it's more like a crappy outlet of crap, and it has, like, even worse than airport fiction type things. I'm a snob. Anyway, so in these bookstores in Brisbane, I bought this, which it looks like the back, that's the front, The Best of McSweeties, which is, I didn't actually know anything about this because I live under a rock, but it's like a literary journal, and this is, this commemorates the 15th anniversary of the journal, and so it's got some kind of, I think, novellas and some short stories, probably some poetry, and also some comics. So I'm really, really looking forward to reading this. I just found it in the staff recommends kind of section, and I don't know that I would have really seen it otherwise. I just picked it up because I thought that looked a bit weird. And yeah, so it's edited by Dave Eggers. I think McSweeney's might be edited by Dave Eggers as well. Anyway, so that's really exciting, and I have never seen this before. I've never seen the journal before. I haven't seen this before, so I obviously had to buy it. The other book that I bought in that shop, it's called Avid Reader, I think, is this, The Crying of Lot 49 by Thomas Pynchon. Thomas Pynchon is another author similar to Proust and David Foster Wallace that I've just always been really scared of, and I've almost bought his books so many times, and I just chicken out at the last minute because I think that I won't be able to finish it, or I don't know, I'll start and it'll be too much for me. And I have this thing about finishing books that I start. I'm really bad at letting things go. Like I'll ruin my life by keeping reading when I should really stop because I have issues. Anyway, so this one is really quite short. I think it's more of a novella, really. And I started reading it this morning, and it's really good. It is dense. Like I read on the tram this morning. Normally I read kind of about 50 pages or so. It just kind of ends up being that on the tram to work, and I read 10, and then I read over my lunch break and I got to page 20. So it's really it's dense, the sentences are long and they're really awesome, but you really have to concentrate. So yeah, like it's really great, but I completely stand by my decision about being completely terrified of like 900-page Thomas Pynchon books if they're similar, and I think they are, maybe. Anyway, so I will probably do a review of this when I finish, but I'm not going to rush because I think it's the kind of book that you really can't rush. And the last book that I bought in Brisbane is from a secondhand bookstore. It's The Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. I started reading a Toni Morrison book a couple of years ago, and I really had a really hard time with it, and it is one that I didn't finish, but I can't remember what one it was. It wasn't Beloved. It was, I think, one of the lesser known. It wasn't The Bluest Eye, it wasn't Saul, it wasn't Beloved. Those, I think, are the ones that I know have heard most about. But I've kind of wanted to give her a try again for a while, and I keep seeing videos of on BookTube of people reviewing other of her books, and I thought I might as well. And I saw it, and on the back it said that's a novel about the black experience in America that's as an extraordinary and its imaginative, dramatic feeling as Roots. And because I love Roots so much, I thought that's a sign I just have to buy this. And so I did. And I think I might read this one next. I'm not sure, but I'm really excited about starting it. And the other thing that I picked up in Brisbane, this is so weird, it's a Rolling Stone from 2000. I think it's March 2000. Because we went into this guitar store because my husband wanted to go in. He knows the guy who runs it. And they had these old magazines. And I remember buying this when it came out because of Trent Reznor. And also it's got the Whitlams in it. I don't know if this must be the Australian version because the Whitlams are an Australian band. And I was so in love with, well, the lead singer, Tim Friedman, and also Trent Reznor. And I remember, like, you know when you're like 14 and you are so obsessed with celebrities and you buy something like this and you just like read it cover to cover like 100 times, including the things that are like edited by blah blah, photography by, and you're just like, oh my god. I was looking through this magazine and I remembered every single page and all the pictures, like this one here, this is Tim Friedman. I had this on my wall in year 9, I remember. Oh my god, so I had to buy it again, and I don't know why, but I just, for posterity, I guess, nostalgia. Anyway, so I just thought I'd show you that, because it's kind of a little bit literary. Not really, it's a Rolling Stone. Anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of what I've been reading and what I will be reading over the next little while. And I've been thinking about what I want to do in terms of other videos. I think what I might do next is a video about an author that I really like called Elliot Perlman, who's from, I'm pretty sure it's from Melbourne. His books are set in Melbourne predominantly. And I keep seeing videos and thinking, oh, I really want to suggest this to someone, or I just kind of, there's books and things that I want to talk about that don't really fit into kind of the usual things that people do on BookTube. Like, it's not really a review, it's not a tag, or a, you know, what I've been reading. It's just like, this is something I like, and I don't think Elliot Perlman is well known at all, if at all, outside of Australia, and he's written some really brilliant books. Like, one of his books, $3, is, I haven't read it for a long time, but when I read it, it was my favourite book for years, and it was then made into a movie, which was also good, but the book is just so good. And he wrote this other one recently called The Street Sweeper, which is not set in Australia, and it was, again, it was so good. And I don't know how much of an audience he really, or a like a reader base that he really gets outside of Australia. So I think my next video, or one of the next ones, might be just like a bit of I don't know, talking about him and his books and why I think people would like them and which ones they might like to try and things, just because I think people might be interested and I really like them. Yeah, so that's probably coming up. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!